Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at Noon.
Next at noon, did the U.S. violate laws in arresting Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro? The Trump administration is set to brief lawmakers as Maduro appears in a U.S. courtroom.
A CTA station here in the city of Chicago is now closed. How this will impact riders for the next 3 years.
Taking a live look outside for you on this Monday. We're going to have a breakdown of what you can expect with the forecast. It looks like the sun's trying to come out. Definitely milder out there today. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Sylvia Perez.
And I'm Natalie Bumke, and we are following the latest developments on Venezuela's ousted President Nicolas Maduro and his wife.
The couple made their first court appearance just about an hour ago in New York City. In the meantime, Washington is bracing for fallout as top lawmakers in Congress receive a classified briefing on the dramatic raid later today. Rebecca Castor has the latest.
I've been here for 17 years now, and this is the moment that we all have been waiting for.
Hundreds of displaced Venezuelans living in Florida took to the streets over the weekend to celebrate Maduro's capture. But on Capitol Hill, the reaction is mixed and mostly split across party lines. Republicans are praising President Trump's aggressive move, while Democrats believe he violated the Constitution without notifying Congress and don't want the U.S. involved in regime change.
Whenever our country has gotten involved in this kind of regime change and nation building, American families pay the price.
He's indicted in U.S. courts for drug trafficking and narco-terrorism. Congress doesn't need to be notified every time the executive branch is making an arrest.
Top lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, as well as those with foreign policy and military oversight positions, will be briefed by Trump officials Monday evening. And with the president saying the U.S. is now running Venezuela, there should be plenty of questions.
It's laughable to think that we could actually run Venezuela. It is a country twice the size of California with 25 million people, active domestic armed guerrilla groups.
Later this week, Senate Democrats will try to limit further military action in Venezuela by taking a war powers vote, but they'll need more support from Republicans. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
And coming up, we're going to have a live report from New York with the latest developments on Maduro's first court appearance.
In the meantime, let's give you a live look outside. I've enjoyed this view all morning. It's
so pretty, right? It's a nice angle, and it's kind of mild out there.
And I'm not seeing any snow on the ground.
Hey.
Fox 32 meteorologist Mike Kaplan joins us now with a quick check of the forecast.
Welcome to the January thaw, and this isn't just a 1 or 2 day deal here. 40s and perhaps a couple of 50s on the way this week. Downside tonight into tomorrow morning, some fog, drizzle, perhaps a little bit of light rain tomorrow morning. I would think Lake and McHenry County may be most likely to get in on that. Actual rain is likely Thursday night and Friday. That will be tied to a storm system that will bring some colder temperatures here over the weekend, but it will not be cold relative to normal. Normal high this time of year is 32. We're going way past that. 44 at O'Hare for the high today. Maybe clinging to the upper 30s there across the far north, but we've got low to mid 40s, 45 at Morris, 44 at Kankakee, Northwest Indiana. I think you're good for low 40s out there. Tomorrow, likely to be a couple of degrees warmer, despite the fact it'll be cloudier. I think mid 40s are likely with a 46 at O'Hare, 43 at Aurora, 45 at Merrillville, and then 2 days in the 50s. I'll give you a look at that 7-day here, just a few. Back to you.
All right, thanks for that. Well, police are now investigating a deadly drive-by shooting in the Back of the Yards neighborhood.
This happened near Halstead Street in Garfield last night. Police say a 43-year-old man was standing outside when he was shot by someone in a white SUV. The 43-year-old man was taken to a local hospital where he later died. No one is in custody. And 2 people are hurt after a shooting in Brighton Park. Police say both victims were in a car when an SUV pulled up and someone inside started shooting. This happened near Southwestern Avenue. A 21-year-old woman was hit in the arm and the back. She is in critical condition. A 37-year-old man in the car also hit in the arm. He is in good condition. No word on any arrests. A busy CTA station is now closed for a massive reconstruction project.
Roseanne is at the State and Lake L with reaction from riders.
Well, demolition work is underway, and many commuters are telling us today that it's not a minute too soon. We understand street-level work will be underway from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. The majority of demolition, though, will be overnight from 9 p.m. to 5 in the morning. The 130-year-old CTA station will be fully reconstructed. Loop trains will still be operating, but riders need to use the Washington, Wabash, or Clark Lake stations. And starting today, Lake Street will be open to local traffic only between Dearborn and Wabash. The bus stops will stay open on State Street. Pedestrians can still get through, but upgrades on the way include new elevators for better accessibility, a glass canopy for weather protection, better lighting for safety, and wider platforms. Even people who told us they don't take the L think reconstruction is a good idea.
I think it's going to be wonderful. 3 years seems like a real long time to make it. Wish they could speed that up and make it be a little bit faster. But I would rather them do it correctly and without any cutting corners. So if it takes 3 years, it takes 3 years. And then the future Chicagoans will have a way better opportunity.
Others say it may be a long wait, but it is work that's desperately needed.
It's obviously going to impact travel to the morning and whatnot, but besides that, I think it's going to be much needed, just given the city's infrastructure being so out to date. It's long overdue, but there's going to be congestion, no doubt.
But I think if it all pans out, it's just an extra 3 minutes to the building. So it doesn't really impact me much.
Right. How about the thought of that new and improved station in 3 years?
For a few $1 billion, I hope it's everything they say it's going to be.
The new and improved L station at State and Lake is expected to reopen in 2029. In the Loop, Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Chicago police are looking for a person of interest for a homicide in Little Village last month. Police shared a video surveillance of the incident saying this person shot a woman who was inside a vehicle on West 23rd Place on December 19th. They are asking if you know anything to give the police department a call. The Drug Enforcement Administration has a new leader in Chicago.
DEA Administrator Terrence Cole has appointed Todd C. Smith as the new special agent in charge of the Chicago Field Division. Smith succeeds Shane Cantone, who is now overseeing operations across 5 Midwest DEA divisions. The new special agent in charge brings more than 20 years of experience investigating drug trafficking. Smith most recently served as deputy special agent in charge here in Chicago. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says he is ending his re-election campaign amid ongoing investigations into fraud in the state's child care programs. Walz, who was the 2024 vice presidential nominee for the Democratic ticket, pointed directly at President Donald Trump and allies who he say are targeting the state as a reason for ending his campaign.
This announcement is coming just days before the House Oversight Committee hearings on fraud and misuse of federal funds in Minnesota's social services programs takes place. Chairman James Comer says the first hearing will happen on Wednesday with Minnesota state officials who investigated that fraud. Comer has also invited Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison to testify on February 10th. Minnesota's Child Care Assistance Program is under investigation for potentially misusing taxpayer money.
Back here at home, faith leaders gathered with community members outside of Trump Tower this morning to protest property tax hikes.
They're calling those hikes a modern-day land grab that's devastating the west and south side. They met at Trump Tower because they say that building's property taxes were reduced, while people living in West Garfield Park and North Lawndale saw their taxes go up as high as 133%. They are condemning the Cook County Assessor and the Board of Review for what they call targeted property tax hikes on poor and working class families. Faith leaders say this is a moral crisis, not just a financial problem, and they will not back down.
Because for those of us in places like West Garfield Park with a 133% increase, Lawndale with a 99% increase, Inglewood with an 80% increase, and a 39% reduction for Donald Trump. And so clearly, Donald Trump gets the tax break, and on the west side, we get the tax bill.
They're calling for an immediate rollback and freeze at prior levels. Both candidates for Cook County Assessor have agreed to participate in a public debate on this issue. That date has not been announced. The NFL players are set. The playoffs, that is, are set, and the Bears will get a rematch with the Packers. This is something a lot of people did not want.
No, I
not
know.
With the Packers at first.
You know,
exactly.
We got our fingers crossed. That's right. They did not end the regular season the way anybody wanted them to, unless they weren't a Bears fan. They were down to Detroit 16-0 before rallying to tie the game. However, Detroit was able to march down the field for the game-winning kick for a 19-16 victory. And the Bears, as you can imagine, they were not thrilled after the game.
Not good enough. Not good enough to win this game, not good enough to win, the upcoming games. And so we got to get better, all sides of the ball. But speaking on offense, whatever happens on the other side of the ball, it's not something that we can control. So we have to control what we can, and we got to come out starting fast, being better, and, we'll do that here coming up.
Everyone's disappointed. I appreciate, like I said, their effort. Some teams, they rest their starters. We don't. We play football, and, and we felt like it was really important that we were playing our best ball here today, and we didn't get that job done. And so we're quickly turning that page, and now we got a home game coming on up, and there's a way to win this next game, and that's what we're going to be solely focused on.
All right, so here's the schedule. The Bears will play the Packers at Soldier Field on Saturday night. The game kicks off at 7 o'clock. You can catch it right here on Fox Chicago, your home of the Bears. You can also catch the first game on Saturday right here on Fox. That is the Rams taking on the Panthers at 3:30 in the afternoon.
What a game yesterday. A nail biter once again. This time we lost. Still fun. More news to come here on Fox 32 News at noon. Venezuela's president Nicolas Maduro and his wife now facing multiple drug trafficking charges. We'll have a live report on the latest.
And a man is arrested following a break-in at Vice President J.D. Vance's home. What we know so far.
Being the victim of a personal injury.
Today, ousted Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife made their first appearance in federal court in New York. They were arraigned on drug trafficking and weapons charges after U.S. Special Forces captured them during a surprise military operation in Venezuela over the weekend.
Kaylee Schuyler joins us live outside that courthouse in New York. So, Kaylee, what is the latest?
Hi, Natalie and Sylvia. Well, it's still pretty rowdy here outside of the courthouse, even though Maduro and his wife Celia are on their way back to a Brooklyn detention center. They both pleaded not guilty today, and neither of them asked for bail. But after Maduro pleaded not guilty, I think this is interesting. Notes from our producer in the courtroom say Maduro stood up and said, "I am innocent. I am not guilty of anything that is written here. I am still president of my country." But then the judge quickly cut him off and said, "You're not pleading your case here today." And we now know that the next court date is going to be on March 17th, 60 days from now. And it was just this morning that Maduro and his wife were transferred from the Brooklyn Detention Center, where they're being held, to this federal courthouse here in Lower Manhattan. They were heavily guarded, with the feds using helicopters and armed trucks to bring them to court. Maduro and his wife, along with their son and 3 other Venezuelan officials, are facing charges, including narco-terrorism conspiracy, cocaine importation conspiracy, and 2 weapons-related charges. They're accused of partnering with violent gangs and drug cartels to help flood the U.S. with thousands of tons of cocaine. On Saturday, President Trump announced the mission that led to Maduro and his wife's capture. And this morning, FBI Director Kash Patel called the operation a victory in saving the lives of thousands of Americans.
But Venezuela acted not only as a large and massive transshipment point by air and by sea, but also allowed drug traffickers to operate with reckless abandon inside their borders. And their direct target of deployment was the United States of America in large part. And that's what these charges, in my opinion, I believe will address.
Well, I'm sure you guys can hear some of the chanting and cheering that's going on here in front of the courthouse, and reactions out here are very mixed. Some people are praising President Trump. Earlier, a woman walked by my camera sobbing, saying, "Thank you, Donald Trump." But then there are other people just right over here on the corner protesting, holding signs saying, "Hands off Venezuela" and "Free President Maduro now." In New York, Kaylee Schuyler, Fox 32 Chicago.
All right, thank you so much, Kaylee. Meantime, a 26-year-old man now in custody following a break-in at Vice President J.D. Vance's home in Cincinnati. The suspect, William DeFore, was arrested at the scene after he reportedly broke windows at the home overnight. The vice president and his family were not home at the time, having already returned to Washington, D.C. Charges are pending. A Wisconsin state judge convicted of blocking ICE agents from doing their job is stepping down. Hannah Dugan made the announcement over the weekend. A jury convicted her last month of obstructing federal agents attempting to arrest an undocumented immigrant who was in her courtroom to face a battery charge. She is appealing her conviction. Today, the trial for one of the first officers to respond to the Uvalde school shooting begins.
Adrian Gonzalez is facing 29 felony counts of abandoning or endangering a child. 19 students, 2 teachers were killed in that attack in 2022 at Robb Elementary School. Gonzalez has pleaded not guilty. More than 400 officers waited over an hour to kill the shooter. Families of the victims say the trial will force them to relive the darkest moments of their lives.
It's mixed emotions. I mean, we're prepared as best as we can. We know we're going to hear a lot of detail that we probably haven't heard before. Intimate things that happened in that, what they saw in the hallway, in the classroom, you know, I'm sure they're going to dive into it, right? They both have a job to do. The DA has a job and the defense has a job to do. And it's highly emotional.
After jury selection, the trial is expected to last several weeks. Several witnesses and experts are believed to be taking the stand, and this is the first of 2 criminal trials connected to that shooting.
A criminal investigation is now underway in Switzerland following a deadly New Year's Eve fire at a bar. 40 people were killed, 119 others hurt. The victims as young as 14 years old. The drinking age there is 16. That's why there were some 14-year-olds there, apparently. Investigators say they have identified all of the victims, but they have not released their names. Police say sparklers likely lit the roof on fire, the ceiling on fire during a New Year's celebration. Meantime, Northern California bracing for more rain after downpours and high tides already caused serious flooding there. Streets and low-lying areas are underwater with emergency crews rescuing stranded motorists. 5 northern counties are under flood watches with up to 3 inches of rain possible through tonight. Parts of Southern California also remain on alert for mudslides and flash floods near burn scars and hillsides.
People in upstate New York are pretty used to getting snow, right? But even those residents are describing this weekend storm as insane. Some places receiving up to 14 inches, while others saw nearly 3 feet piling up. It is the first big lake effect snow of the year.
Great way to start the year. I mean, we've got pounded. Everybody's just buried.
I like to stay all throughout the summer. I can't wait for the snow, but once it comes, I'm over it.
3 or 4 times we have just been missed. Okay. It got us this time.
So glad it's there. More snow is expected across the area before temperatures begin to rise later this week. Oh, it's hard to look at that, isn't it?
It really is. Well, it reminds me of like Thanksgiving week when we got that huge amount of snow here.
And we thought we might have a white Christmas, but it's actually kind of nice out there, isn't it?
It is. It's warming up. I think Mike Kaplan said one of the first times above freezing so far in the last several weeks. Right. And Mike's going to join us now for another check of the forecast.
All right, fasten your seatbelts. We're going to do a little fly around the area and talk about high temperatures today. At a time of year when 32 would be the normal high, hey, we're going into the mid-40s across parts of the area. I think at O'Hare, which we're going to represent there with a Rosemont number, I think we'll hit 44. Our computer model is showing 40 downtown. I bet we beat that. I bet you beat it in Burr Ridge and also Naperville. I really think most of Cook and DuPage County, it's going to be about 44 degrees. Now, you get a little farther north and west, I do agree with our model that it'll be a couple of degrees cooler, but still almost universally a 40-plus, maybe a 41 around Lily Lake and Elburn, 40 at Lake Zurich and Wakanda. If there are any spots that stay in the upper 30s, might be Woodstock, Wonder Lake, Harvard, Chemung, Marengo, maybe a 39, but those temperatures are still way above normal. Come on, that's all good. Let's go south. We'll take you to Joliet, 43 to 45 for you. Across Grundy County into LaSalle County, mid-40s for you there. Kankakee County, I think you can hit 44 at Kankakee, maybe a 45 around Bourbonnais and Buckingham. Northwest Indiana, not to forget you. How about low to mid-40s there? Maybe only a 39 at LaPorte and Benton Harbor, but you're not dealing with lake effect snow, are you? Those low 40s are going to feel pretty nice, and any snow that's still on the ground is going to be melting. Now, there is an increase in cloud cover on the way, and eventually tonight, I think we'll see some fog and maybe some drizzle. We'll look at the future radar and that 7-day here in just a few.
Well, it may be warming up this week, but we all know the cold winter weather will be back.
As we rely on our heating units, experts want you to be aware of the risk for carbon monoxide poisoning. So coming up, tips to protect your family and what to do if you are exposed.
And what is on your 2026 bingo card? Coming up, a new trend that's helping people stay on top of their New Year's resolutions. So what's Welcome back. As the winter wind winds on, I should say, the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning continues to be on the rise.
Yeah, according to the CDC, carbon monoxide sends more than 100,000 Americans to the emergency room every year. Doctors say the use of those home heating units, such as furnaces, fireplaces, stoves, and other appliances running with the windows closed, could be a silent killer.
Carbon monoxide is so dangerous to humans because we have no way of detecting it outside of a carbon monoxide detector, which means we can't see it, we can't taste it, and we can't smell it. And if that carbon monoxide builds up high enough in our bodies, it can be fatal.
Symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning can include nausea, shortness of breath, confusion, and even fainting. Experts say that proper maintenance of household appliances is key here, and making sure you have enough carbon monoxide detectors around your home is important as well.
And with the new year, doctors say now is the perfect time to focus on heart health. The American Heart Association says more people die from heart attacks during the month of January than any other time of the year. Doctors say regular exercise and cutting the stress are key factors in maintaining a strong heart.
Sure. So the number one thing is reduce friction for good habits. Oh. So for instance, if you want to work out in the morning, some people they take out their workout clothes and their running shoes next to the bed. So in the morning, they're suddenly ready to go. For myself, many times I unroll my yoga mat or workout mat and put it in front of the TV. So all day long, it's staring at me.
Heart disease is a leading cause of death for both men and women, killing about 700,000 people in the U.S. each year.
There's a new health trend called wellness stacking. It involves putting together several mini habits into one intentional session to achieve more in less time, such as brushing and flossing your teeth or making coffee and meditating. Doctors claim building returns will help you stay consistent with these self-care methods, but you have to stay realistic and not do too much at once, or you will get overwhelmed. Is that called multitasking? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Right? Something like that. Okay, there could be a new way to keep track of your New Year's resolutions.
I love this idea. I know Sylvia does a vision board.
Yes, I do.
But let me promote this for next year.
I'm all ears.
People are making customized bingo boards to keep track of their New Year's resolutions.
Oh, that's cute.
They're calling them bin goals. So this is how it works, Sylvia. You write a resolution in each square there, and as you complete one, you cross it out the way that you would in traditional bingo.
Like that.
Experts also recommend rewarding yourself with a little treat anytime you tackle one of those big goals.
That's fun. It makes you keep looking at them. Absolutely, yeah.
A lot of people had love on their mind, apparently, over the weekend. Sunday marked Dating Sunday. It's the busiest day of the year for dating apps. Data from Hinge shows a massive surge in activity, with likes and messages jumping more than 25% compared to a typical Sunday. Experts say the first Sunday of January is the best time to start a conversation as people reset their priorities for the new year.
The McRib is back. A lot of people happy about this, but it's also now in court.
Why McDonald's is facing a lawsuit over its fan favorite sandwich.
This show's all about Hallman.
Welcome back. It's 12:30. Here's some of the stories we're following for you this afternoon.
Today, ousted Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife made their first court appearance in federal court in New York. They were arraigned on drug trafficking and weapons charges after U.S. Special Forces captured them during a surprise military operation in Venezuela over the weekend. Both pleaded not guilty. Maduro's next court date now officially set for March 17.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says he is ending his re-election campaign amid ongoing investigations into fraud in the state's child care programs. Walz, who was the 2024 vice presidential nominee for the Democratic ticket, pointed directly at President Trump and allies, targeting the state as a reason for ending his campaign.
The regular season, it is over for the Bears, but it is on to the playoffs. The Bears will host the Packers Saturday night right here on Fox Chicago in the Wild Card Roundup.
And that's going to be a fun one, but let's find out what we can expect with the forecast today as we take a live look outside. Mike is standing by with another look for us. Mike?
All right, this has not been a bad morning as we transition into the afternoon. I do expect to see a gradual increase in the cloud cover. You can kind of see the lumpy nature here. These are taller, more vertically developed clouds, and they will eventually start to blot out the sun here this afternoon. So we're going from what had been a mostly sunny morning to it's going to be a mostly cloudy afternoon. Our particular computer model, I think, isn't picking up on the reality of those clouds quite well enough. However, it does say, yes, tonight, cloud cover is going to be with us, and there can be a little light precipitation there. Temperatures are going to be warm enough, though, that there's not going to be any freezing rain. There's not going to be any snow here. We're talking about drizzle, probably at most here. Where the precipitation will be a little bit more robust will be across southern Wisconsin. That will cross the lake and move into Michigan tomorrow morning. We're going to have quite a bit of cloud cover, a few thin spots here and there, and I can't rule out at some point, maybe tomorrow afternoon, to get a brief hit of some light rain there. But this is not a particularly strong storm system. But watch what happens on Wednesday. After a pretty cloudy day tomorrow, those clouds are moving out of here, and because we're going to have more sunshine on Wednesday, boy, I'm just, my confidence is buoyed that we're going to get a 50-degree day here, maybe 2 in a row. Rainfall amounts with this stuff coming through overnight into tomorrow, not going to be a lot, couple hundreds here or there. I think a lot of us are going to come up with just a trace, if that, so this is not a real soaker. That's later in the week. Today, 44 for the high. It becomes mostly cloudy. Southwest wind at a pretty decent speed. Nothing too gusty out there. A lot of times you get the warm up and we got 40-mile-an-hour winds. That's not the case here. Now tonight, areas of fog and drizzle late. Could be a dense fog advisory, so stay tuned for that. Our low temperature, not that cold at all, 38 degrees. From there, we get to 46 tomorrow, 50 Wednesday and Thursday. It's Thursday night into Friday that we get a soaking rain and then some colder, but not that cold air for the weekend. Maybe some light snow in the area on Saturday. I think it'll be dry, though, for that Bears game. Back to you.
Thank you, Mike. McDonald's facing a class action lawsuit over its famous McRib sandwich.
It claims the sandwich misleads customers by suggesting it is made from real pork rib meat when it allegedly does not have any. McDonald's says it uses 100% boneless pork and that it never claimed to use rib meat. The McRib made its world debut in 1982 and has sporadically appeared on McDonald's menus ever since. And boy, people do get excited when this comes back on the menu, don't they? Taking a live look at the New York Stock Exchange for you right now. The Dow Jones is up, trading 780 points.
Now it's time to look at your business headlines with Kelly Saberi.
Markets reacting calmly to the U.S. capture of Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. Analysts tell Dow Jones investors have learned to look beyond geopolitical risks in recent years, keeping focused on fundamental drivers such as economic growth, inflation, and corporate earnings. President Trump saying the U.S. will run Venezuela and its oil infrastructure until a proper transition can be made. Analysts say it will take years and be costly to bring the country's oil output back to historical levels. Meanwhile, the internet company owned by Elon Musk is offering Venezuelans free Wi-Fi through February 3rd. Sales of new cars in the U.S. were up 2% last year, even though the industry was dealing with supply chain issues, unpredictable tariffs, and the expiration of the $7,500 electric vehicle tax credit.
Thomas King at J.D. Power tells Reuters to say it has been a sales roller coaster of a year would be an understatement. Novo Nordisk, maker of weight loss treatment Wegovy, says it will sell a pill version of the medication in the U.S. for $149 a month. Higher doses will be available at $299. The FDA approved the pill on December 22nd. And drug company Sanofi says the FDA is reviewing a request to possibly expand the current age for its type 1 diabetes drug to include children as young as 1 year old. The treatment is currently approved for children as young as 8. In Chicago, Kelly Saberi, Fox Business.
I'm Jonathan Lawson. Here.
.32 Sports goes beyond.
I always look forward to this every year. One of the biggest tech trade shows in the world kicks off in Las Vegas next week.
Yeah, it's a fun one, and Amalia is joining us now from Vegas with the latest on what we can expect at that show. Hi there.
Hi, it is a fun one. I got to play with some toys yesterday, a robot pet using AI. That's one of the wackier things out there. This is one of those spaces where you have tech leaders showing off their latest innovations, but there are also everyday products that people can go out and buy online today. There's a lot in the smart home space. There are AI products where it helps homeowners manage their lawns properly, use water more efficiently, and run it all through an app. Or going inside the home, there are smoke detectors that are also night lights, intercoms, and nanny cams.
Asked people what they wanted in their their next generation smart devices. Everyone said they wanted to be multi-featured. They wanted it to be controlled from a single app, and they also wanted to have motion detection.
There's even a smart toothbrush that has a U-shaped design that the creators say can cut brushing down to 20 seconds. And it uses AI to give the user a closer look at their dental health.
AI is doing so much for us today, right? So being able to take advantage of that and being a leader and establishing a model that can track your behavior, the clinical signs, your salivary microbiome to provide these insights we see ourselves as a leader in that.
The organization running the event, the Consumer Technology Association, says for 2026, keep an eye on seeing more AI in our tech. In Las Vegas, Amalia Roy, Fox 32 Chicago.
All right, thanks so much, Amalia. Why do I think that toothbrush probably costs $20,000?
Oh, I'm sure it's not
I will
an
just
AI toothbrush. Oh, can you imagine? Oh, you didn't get that one side. Now you got to.
I'm just sticking with the free one that the dentist gives me.
Exactly.
Our noon show will be wrapping up in about 20 minutes, but Chicago Live is just getting started.
And Anita's standing by with a look at what's ahead. Hi, Anita.
I am dazzled by all of the new products. Yeah, great things that we'll see in the future, I'm sure. Thank you, ladies, and Happy New Year to you. Well, while we are just now getting things started, we've been on our hiatus here for Chicago Live. There's plenty to get to today between the hours of 1 and 4 p.m. online. Chicago police just recently seized a vehicle key fob programmer. Philadelphia police are warning drivers that they've seen thieves using the devices to steal a car in under 2 minutes. And even in Nevada, authorities are saying that some of the stolen vehicles are being brought to Las Vegas to try to sell them on social media using fake VIN plates. So there's a lot to it all, and I'm going to be talking with the director of the Illinois statewide auto theft task force about that in our 3 o'clock hour. There are also some new efforts to bring leaders together to focus on health and safety of women, their children, and vulnerable communities in our area. And in our 2 o'clock hour, I'm going to be talking with one of the Cook County commissioners behind that, the new City of Chicago, Cook County Violence Against Women Task Force is what's being created now. And in our first hour, we've lined up quite a bit. We might just have our political reporter, Parrish Schutz. We put in a call to him to try to get him ahead of his one-on-one interview with Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling, also a reporter from our sister station in Minneapolis to talk about the breaking news there this morning. Governor Tim Walz, of course, a former vice presidential candidate who's now getting out of the race for re-election for another term amid some growing criticism of widespread fraud in his state. And we also have a consumer savings expert talking about the newly formed FDA-approved Wegovy pill. And this is the first ever oral GLP-1 medication that's now available for $149 per month through GoodRx. So I'll see everyone for all of that and much more between the hours of 1 and 4 p.m. online. Look forward to seeing everyone then.
Thank you, Anita. We look forward to it.
From bold flavors to fiber-focused foods, coming up, we're going to take a look at the top food and drink trends to look out for in 2026.
do I have?
From bold flavors to gut-healthy and protein-packed foods, new trends are shaping what we'll be eating in 2026.
And joining us now to break it all down is our friend Adasha Townsend from Supply Side Food and Beverage Journal. Welcome back. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's always, it's always great to see you. It's always fun when you're in because you're showing us what really people are focusing a lot on. So let's start with what are some of the innovative ways, I should say, that brands are incorporating kind of different flavors now?
Well, the biggest thing is that a lot of these food developers are thinking about convenience. Okay. And so they're thinking they have these grand ideas, especially with global flavors, but then they're making them more convenient in the fact that they're shelf stable and they're frozen. So all you have to do is pop it in, a skillet or your microwave.
I love that too because it gives us more options, especially if you're a busy mom, right?
Makes life easier.
Yes, and then I was reading ahead and I noticed you said protein-packed foods, and I've been seeing all these commercials, for example, from Starbucks. They have that new protein-packed drink, or a protein-packed.
Protein's huge.
And yeah, protein's huge. Was it a protein-packed coffee? Is that what it was?
I think you can add it. It's an add-on to basically any beverage you get there.
That's interesting. Okay, but we're starting with some other things. Speaking of coffee, right?
Yeah.
And the first one is the Laurel Organic Coffee. Tell us about that.
Well, lattes are huge, as you know, but they're also very fattening. So what I love about Laurel Organic Coffee, what she's done here is that she's taken A2 dairy and she's replaced the regular dairy with this. This gives you, that bubble guts that people sometimes get, especially when you're black and brown. A lot of people get that. This is easier to get down.
Oh, it's easier to digest?
It's easier to digest.
But it's not dairy-free, or it is?
No, it is dairy, but A2 dairy is just better on your gut.
I've heard of it.
So better for gut health. It's better for gut health. And then the global part of it is that it comes in flavors like matcha and a dirty chai, which is very popular in Asia.
Oh, that sounds
Where can you get this? Is it just online, these products that we're talking about?
All the products that I have, I made sure that you can get in Chicago. You can get this one, I know, at Whole Foods.
Yeah, I love
it. Wonderful. Okay, what about the Projo Power Coffee? Tell us about that.
Speaking of coffee, that's another latte, and it has 25 grams of protein in it. It's the developer of this product. It comes in chocolate, as you can see, and vanilla, and the mocha is so creamy and smooth, and so it's really good. I'm not even a coffee drinker, and I'm like, this tastes like heaven. So the developer of this one decided to do it because he works out a lot, and he wanted to make sure he was getting all the protein intake that he could get. So he created this, and it's just very filling, has all the nutrients that he needs to carry him on right into lunch.
Okay, I love that. Okay, Pure Elizabeth oatmeal.
Oh my goodness.
What is this?
These are superfood oat milk cups. I am so obsessed with these.
Yeah.
Some of them have collagen in them, some of them have fiber, and some have high protein in them. And so there are these miniature cups, and they come in flavors like vanilla, pecan, and blueberry, and double chocolate, and berries. And I just always add granola on top of it. You put some water in it, you put the little cup in the microwave, and boom, you have the perfect oat milk.
I love the Purely Elizabeth brand.
Have you tried it?
Yes. Yeah. The granola is so good.
Yes.
I mean, it's fantastic. Okay, and then this Trace, I'm saying this wrong, I know I am. Trace Latin Foods. Let's talk a little bit about
Pupusas.
that. Pupusas.
Now, have you heard of those?
Yes, I have.
I love them. Think of a tamale, but flat, and then it's stuffed with refried beans, meats, grilled cheese.
Like a Hot Pocket.
Basically.
Thanks for breaking it down for me, Sylvia.
It's griddled, and it's griddled, and it's just crispy. And like I said, it has this meat in between it. And so the reason why I added that one has the global flavors. Those are not easy for us to make at home, but if you just pop it in your griddle, it's frozen. These are frozen products. So it's the convenience factor, just like the lattes that I talked about, already made, has everything it needs to go. You just pop it in there and make it. You can't go wrong unless you don't know how to use a skillet.
Okay, well, I think we're both okay on that department, right? It seems like, so what you're saying is we're going to see a lot of culturally different flavors in foods, and think protein, 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 right?
Absolutely. And all month long, we have a bunch of features on Supply Side, FBJ.com, where we're talking about these trends and a lot more. We have them all covered.
Okay, I want to get my hands on this stuff.
I know. Anything to make life easier. Thank you so much. Happy New Year again. I know
Happy New
Sylvia
Year.
already said that, but we'll be right back.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Celebrity Name That Tune is
When it comes to snowfall, it's been a slow start to the season for ski resorts all over Colorado.
Some are trying to make that up to guests by offering promotions to lure people back to the mountains. Nat Belt has the story.
Despite some snowfall along Loveland Pass this week, skiers Kurt Robinson and Doug Buell both hoped for a little bit more at Arapahoe Basin.
Slim pickings, there's not a lot of variety.
With only 9 of A Basin's 147 runs open, slim pickings is right, and the ski area recognizes that.
We're obviously not seeing the snowfall that we typically see this time of year, and our footprint looks a little different. Our product looks a little bit different. We can't deny that. We're not going to try to.
To help, they've made some changes to the revamped parking system first implemented last year, requiring paid reservations on weekends that were supposed to begin this weekend. Instead, the lot will remain free every day until January 17.
We want to do right by our customers. We want to do right by our skiers and riders, and we can cut everyone a break for a couple of weeks.
On the other side of Summit County, Copper Mountain hopes to lure people out by offering up to 60% off lodging all of January when you get your lift ticket.
Really trying to get people up. January is usually a really great month for us, and really kicks off the ski season.
Kids also ski for free with an adult lift ticket, and the resort is also implementing a brand new snow guarantee, allowing guests to reschedule their trip 7 days out or cancel it 14 days out if you aren't satisfied with the snow conditions.
This is another incentive for them to come out and enjoy our mountain.
Back at A Basin, Robinson and Buell are happy to save some money.
I think definitely it helped, with the limited conditions.
Hope that these incentives bring people back out to enjoy even the little bit of snow that's fallen.
Skiing is better than not skiing.
And we'll be right back.
For all the plans.
Nothing.
Well, if you've got a giant bucket at home, And this is on your bucket list. Well, you are set, my friends. Cinemark is hosting its Bring Your Own Bucket for Popcorn on the 18th and 19th. You can bring any size bucket with the limit of up to 400 ounces to have it filled. Now, we were wondering, how much is 400 ounces? It's 25 pounds.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot of popcorn.
That is a lot of popcorn. Oh my gosh, I guess you have it for weeks to come, huh? Okay, coming to grips with the end of the holidays, it's apparently harder for some than others.
I think you might be getting a little bit too in your feelings.
That is
It's so funny.
the Queen of Christmas, Mariah Carey, Sylvia, distraught as her family starts to take down decorations. Something that she might want to get over, though, because tomorrow is the Feast of the Epiphany. That is the official end of the Christmas season for Christians.
That's right. We'll have one final check of our forecast when we come back.
I want to give you a look at the next 11 days, including today, to show you that there is no Arctic air in sight. First of all, this whole work week is going to be characterized by above average temperatures, a couple of days in the 50s. Yes, it gets colder Saturday and Sunday, but that 32 on Sunday, that is still at or above normal. And then we'll be in the upper 30s and low 40s for much of next week. So no really, punch of bitterly cold air in sight. 44 today, becoming mostly cloudy, southwest winds 5 to 15. Tonight, down to 38 degrees, so not much of a temperature fall off. Watch for some fog and a little bit of drizzle, but temperatures are going to stay above freezing. There's going to be no icing on the roadways. Tomorrow, a cloudier day, maybe a passing shower, 46. There's a pair of 50s for Wednesday and Thursday. Rain, though, Thursday night and Friday. That's actual